So in this last part of this series, let's see how to do a code first approach if the database already existed. Now, why would we want to do it in the first place? Let's say there was an application which was built several years ago or by a different team, and that database is being used by several teams. It is quite common, and your team specifically wants to go code first for a new web application it wants to create. So that could be one reason, because the database is already existing. Or even if this is if there's only one only one team which is using this database in their project, and they decide that they had a look at the code first framework and they saw that making changes via migrations and most of the things through code is a lot more flexible, and developers can take full control of the deployment process, of the script upgrading, downgrading, and they decided to go code first from now on. What you could do is just make use of the existing code base, create the entities for them, and then from then on keep going code first. So what do you mean by that? Let's see in the same example. If I open this, let's forget we even had a data folder with all the entities inside them. So let's just go ahead and create another folder here, which I'll just call it reverse. Anyway, we won't be using this, but just for the sake of demo, we will call it reverse. And since we already have the temple data now, what I want to do is I'll just right click on it and we'll say add new item. I'll come to the data and I'll say ADO.NET entity model. I'll just leave it at model 1, or let's say I'll just make it like temple model. I'll click on add. So if you remember, we got this dialog box even when we were learning about data first approach. So this is the option I was talking about. Creates a code first model based on an existing database. So that's interesting, right? So let's just go ahead and say next. So now it is asking me which is the connection which you have to choose. Now in my case, I already have connected to it, so it is showing. Otherwise you will have to go the new connection route. We'll just wait for it to complete this. Yeah, and you will have to give something like local db / mssql local db. If your spelling is right and if you have the access for it, you should be able to see all the databases in the local db. So I'll just go ahead and test the connection and I'll say OK, and I'll click on next. Okay, it actually picked up, just as I thought, it picked up the wrong one here. If you see here, I just wanted to choose the temple DB. For some reason it just picked up the Northwind here. Anyway, we'll just go ahead and correct that and click on next. So if you now see the table here, now we are pointing at the right database. I would want to include all the tables except the migration history. We don't need that. We are starting fresh in this. So we'll click on so this is also important, pluralize or singularize. So even the tables is plural form, our entities will be singular. So click on finish. So it will go ahead and examine all the tables, and it will generate all the things which we generated from a code first approach. So we'll just wait for it to finish what it's doing. And we can already see that the entities in the reverse folder have been added, and the model has been created just like what we had done. We have all the entities here, and instead of having a context, it's just gone ahead and created it as model. If you want, you can go ahead and rename it as TempleDB context or our app context or anything. Nothing would stop you from renaming it. And if you look at the If you look at the on model creating, it's gone ahead and did the configurations right here, whereas I had used another way of having a configuration object separately. Now that provides a lot of clarity. Now this is a small project with not many configurations, but as and when the project keeps getting bigger and bigger, you will have n number of such configurations, and it will be difficult for you to find out which configuration you need to move or modify because everything is together. That is why I just went ahead and separated my configuration and put them in the same class as that of my entity. Now this is also yet another option. Whatever you did there in the configurations, you can also do it here, but you will just have this one line extra. We started there from this part, from the has with. Generally you have this has with combination, and here you just want to start with this model builder object, and you have to specify which entity type you are referring to, and then start your has many has with queries. Whereas in our case, when we went ahead and configured, based on the type, it clearly knew what this was. So I'll just let you explore this option, and you might also see some other configurations which I really do not want to go in detail at this point, because I just wanted to show that if you have a entity already existing, you can reverse engineer it this way. And what next? I mean, going forward, let's say you want to do the same things on this. You would want to add a migration, and then you would want to create an initial migration and just take it forward from there. If you want to create some initial data, you can go ahead and create in the app, or if it's an existing database with a lot of data already there, you might want to skip that step. But from here on, these entities are as good as what we just created. It might also optionally use some database annotations here, which again I do not prefer. I just want to have everything in the Fluent API. It's a lot more cleaner way, and it's a lot more powerful than these annotations. So from here on, you can just take this forward, just like what we did in our context first approach. It makes no difference. It's just that instead of you having to create all these entities yourself, if you already have the database, you can just reverse engineer and get all these and save a lot of time. And of course, if you want to make sure if the context also looks the same, let's go ahead and try generating the diagram for it. Let's see what happens that way. I'm sure it shouldn't be any different from what we have got earlier. If you see, it looks exactly same, and it has to look, because it's the same conventions, whether it is code first or whether we got the context from the data. The conventions are the same. So we did cover quite a lot of ground here, starting from identifying the entities in the first place for the given problem, designing the database, the constraints, going against the conventions, or when the convention was not clear, we went with configurations. And I also showed you alternate options to one-to-one, and we went ahead, created some data with asynchronous fashion. We saw how to use Fluent API and prevent somebody from doing a delete cascade. And we saw finally the most important part was to keep our model and database in sync with each other using the concept of code first migrations. We wrote a few queries to understand how entities can be nested, and how you could capture some distribution details, and how you could even calculate the amount spent on them. And finally we saw how to approach the code first if the database already existed. So hope this series has been useful, and I suggest that you practice the same thing on some other domain. and that's how you would really learn, by applying the concepts and designing a few databases on your own, and then take this example further forward. I mean, what else can we do on this? We could there are n number of other issues. I mean, if we had the time to go ahead with web applications, then I could have shown you a lot more on what other specific issues happen in a disconnected way. In web applications, you have a lot of disconnected architecture, and you have a request response structure. So a lot of other interesting things happen there. But nevertheless, these form a solid, or in fact a rock solid foundation for your entity framework. With this, you can confidently step into any project and take on even complex configurations through what you have learned.